It's a great thing today that we are celebrating the Virgin's worship in England. As you know, according to Sahaja Yoga, England is the heart where resides the spirit of Shiva. And that Virgin should be respected and revered and worshipped in England. Is a great honor, I think, for all the Sahaja Yogis. Now one has to think why such an importance is paid to a virgin. Why a virgin is respected. To that extent. What are the powers of a virgin? That she can bear a child of that magnitude, that was Christ, that she could create Sri Ganesha out of her own body, that she could protect innocent, dynamic force of her children, who are egoless, who have not known what is ego. So this great power and force resides in a person who has lots of punyas, who has done lots of good things in previous lives. Who has always understood that virginity is a power higher than any other power and would save the virginity and chastity with all her effort and care. As you know that within our body she is placed as Kundalini. Means she is the virgin. She is untouched. The desire to become spirit is without any blemish, nirmal. There is no blemish. It's waiting, it's pure. There's no other desire but to be one with the divine. All other desires are finished. It's a very difficult subject for me to talk about in the Western country. It's embarrassing. I do not want any one of you, whether men or women, to develop any guilt in your mind. Because that is one thing is the greatest blemish, as you know. At a later stage, this guilt works in the opposite direction. It is of no help. But when we understand that we have these problems, we have to be humble about it. Not guilty, but humble. If you are not humble about it and aggressive about demanding what have you got out of Sahaja Yoga and complaining about it all the time, while not seeing what are your own punyas. What do you deserve? Your Kundalini, despite every blemish, has been raised. You know that. You are blessed. So instead of complaining or being aggressive, you must know that it is a great favor to you. The greatest favor. That you are forgiven completely. That this great blessing has been bestowed upon you. And to come up to it, you have to work hard. Not to feel guilty about it, but to be humble, to be thankful that despite what we have done, played with ourselves completely, still we are today sitting as gods, devas. The Somarasa, which is the Charanamrita, is the water that washes the mother. Only you are allowed to drink it. Only the devas. You are sitting in that category. And how can you be demanding? You have to humble yourself. By seeing your past, whatever mistakes we have committed, I am with you in this. Not to feel guilty. It's very embarrassing, as I said to you. But please try to face yourself. We have to face ourselves as we are. The advantage of the Indians is that the Kundalini exists there. So whatever Indians may do, they are always aware it is wrong. For them virtue is virtue whether they are not virtuous. Righteousness is righteousness whether they are not. They know all the time, they are aware of it, we are doing wrong. They do not say what's wrong, nor do they propound things which are obviously wrong and against the virginity, against the sublimity, against the divinity. Satanic things, they never proclaim that it is God. They are hypocritical, all right. But they are aware all the time that these things are wrong. The whole society is like that. Because Kundalini stays there. When we lose our innocence and our virginity, first thing happens to us is that we become ego oriented and we start thinking what's wrong. Your Shakti is your Kundalini and she is virginity. She is your power. She is your strength. Your innocence is your strength. The day you lost it, that is the day we have committed the original sin. So for us it is important that we have to be very humble about it. And that we have to achieve something. What? Not the kingdoms and some sort of a luxurious life, but a seat in this holy land of Shiva. Shiva is forgiveness. He forgives everyone. Even the Rakshasas can be forgiven. But can they be given realization? Even the Pishachas can be forgiven. But can they be given realization? Forgiven is different part. One aspect is forgiveness, so that they can remain for a longer period. They may live longer because of Shiva's forgiveness. So what? But what a wretched life. And the people who are not innocent can never be joy-giving. They are themselves miserable creatures and make everyone miserable. The arrogance is not a childlike quality. We have to be like children. And even when you were not, you were given realization, all right. But now you are sitting with the devas, even higher than them. So, what is our decoration? It is humility. It is simplicity. Not cleverness, arrogance. Putting others down, showing off, but a complete surrender. Surrendering all your egoistical qualities. Let the virginity be reborn within you. From today, you all have to take a vow. It's a New Year's Day for us. That we all will surrender our horrible tempers, dominating natures, assertive behaviors, ego-oriented harshness, domination. I don't know what hues it has. Unless and until you surrender that. The Lord of Virginity, Sri Ganesha, will not be able to crown your Agya Chakra. Whatever we have done so far should just give us this. If our past could give us the idea as to how humble we have to be with each other, with all the Saj Yogis, how kind we have to be, how loving, how universal. Virgin cannot accept ideas which are not universal. She cannot. That's the sign of a virgin. Because she is universal by nature. All fanaticism, all racialism, casteism, all these things which artificially separates man from man, woman from woman, nation from nation, will all finish off as soon as you become innocent. But you can't become by brainwashing, you cannot. By Kundalini awakening, of course you can. But to maintain it, your progress should be inward and not outward. To seek your roots. She is the Mula. She is the roots of your being. She manifests all your roots. So your attention should be towards your roots and not towards your shoot. You have been that. Face yourself and develop your roots now. All the Western societies without the roots, we can see that. We have lost our roots. Let's face it. As Western people, as I am also with you today, we have to find our roots. You see, in a tree which does not have roots, it dries out, it doesn't give any shade. Afterwards, it becomes a dried, horrible, dying tree. When it dies, it falls upon someone. It grows thorns. All dried things grow thorns. It's like a desert where only thorns can grow. When the whole society becomes so stupid as to hate each other, materialistic, then roses are not going to grow there. Lotuses are not going to grow there. While you are the lotuses of this country. You are born in the mud, all right. But now come back to yourself. You were beautiful. You are like lotuses. Fell into this mud, became the mud, out of which you came out because of your true nature. Then you have become now lotuses, but there is no fragrance. Lotus without a fragrance one can't understand. Lotus has to have a fragrance, the fragrance that will overcome the filth of this mud. You have to grow much more than Indians can grow. On the contrary, the arrogance of people, I am amazed. They start complaining about this, complaining about that, complaining about another thing. What do they think of themselves? Who are you? Because the roots are not developed. Once you develop your roots, immediately the humility will start coming into your temperament. There is artificial humility, not from the heart. It will only come when you become virgins. You become innocent. Innocence only doesn't mean morality. Doesn't mean only that. Many people think that if you are a moral person, no. It also means non-materialistic attitude. For people, carpet is more important than their children. Morning till evening, they'll be saying harsh things just to save few nonsensical things which are going to be left here permanently. Materialism is the hit. Is the one that hits you, your innocence. If materialism means to make things to give others happiness, to present others as a cup that carries the nectar, if materialism is that cup which gives the nectar of love, then it's all right. But you don't eat the cup, do you? To me, materialism sounds like people eating the cup and not the nectar. Is cup more important or the nectar? Supposing there's a golden cup and a poison is placed inside that, will you take it because it is in golden cup? If you take it, of course, I will have more value for gold. Will anybody knowingly take a poison in a golden cup because it is in gold? No common sense. There's no common sense at all. That material things cannot give you happiness is the basic factor of economics. In my own lifetime, I have seen that anything material gives you greatest happiness when you can give it to someone. I've seen that way always. I enjoy the giving more than taking. I mean, you try sometimes to give away something and see how happy you feel. Of course, it should not be done because you want to get rid of it. Actually, it is done for that only, perhaps. Because whatever you possess is a headache in any way, even the subtlest form. Any possession is like getting possessed. It's slavery. It hinders your freedom to grow. But it goes hand in hand. You know, people ask me, how is it these people who are so affluent are so miserly? Why are they so miserly? People can't understand. For 1p, if it is dearer, the whole England will be ablaze, you see. All the time what you hear is nothing, that so much percentage of rise in this thing and that, and they are going for a strike for this. I can't understand. How do you keep account of all that? And if somebody asks me what is the price of this sugar here and there, I would know, but I would just know that it's cheaper than the other place because I am innocent. I'll get things absolutely cheapest, always. I've seen that. I always get things cheapest because I'm so innocent. My innocence takes me to places where it is cheapest and I get the maximum joy because I can give it. I know how to give it. That's how I would say, because of the real force of your spirit, which is virginity, you have lost the sense of joy also. You are joy killers. Morning till evening you are killing each other's joy. To say harsh things, you see, from this tongue. I was folding my hands before you because I knew it would little bit upset you. So I was just keeping it there, that your mind should not be disturbed so much. In my palms, very carefully I was catching your heart to keep it there so that you should not feel hurt. Because it was not harsh, but it was truth which was harsh. But still, in my palms I was holding carefully so that you should not feel hurt about it. So to hurt anyone, just open your tongue and hurt anyone, one doesn't understand how many ripples of hatred you are creating within yourself. 24 hours are not sufficient for me to love people. Now I will be 60 years of age. I don't think I have done justification to these 60 years because I have not been able to love people as much as I wanted. The flow is so great that my body suffers with that flow, and sometimes I curse myself that why should I carry such a load of love within myself. And little excitement with the puja also, you know what happens to me, I shudder. Sometimes you are calling me for puja now, what will happen? Then somebody can ask a question sometimes, Mother, did we not suck your vibrations? It's obvious, but I don't want to say that. Because if I say that, your Vishuddhi will be caught up again. You will suck less. It's a very delicate work I have to do. You are already wounded people because you have wounded yourself. Nobody has done this harm to you. You people have nicely wounded yourself, very nicely. Every way possible you have tried to hurt yourself. Now because of the hurt, the guilt is built in and you are hurting others. It is as simple as that. So don't hurt yourself. There is no need to hurt yourself. But remember that we have no business to be harsh to it. We have to be sweet people. We have to be kind people. There are also psychologists who have come forward to give you explanation for your harshness, that your willpower should be strong. If you don't talk like that, others will take advantage. Who can take advantage of the Western people? It is absurd, absolutely absurd. The ones who have done injustice all over the world should say such a thing. It is absurd. I cannot understand how can they give an explanation like that. But now, the time has come. You are the people who are going to change the mind of God. with your good behavior. The wrathful God. You are going to please. You are going to represent that area which sucks in the compassion of God. Ask for His compassion. Do you deserve it? If you don't deserve it, who is going to deserve it in this Western world? You tell me today. You are the ones chosen for this, specially prepared for this, to create an area so that the deity of compassion should be awakened for the rest of them. The arrogance you have seen in the spread of Sahaja Yoga, what happened? We had a program where we had, say, 1,000 people. For the next follow-up, there are only 3. It's typical. I have spent most of my precious time in this country and in the West. Despite that, the arrogance sometimes baffles me. Arrogance among each other, even towards me sometimes they are so arrogant. I cannot think of anyone being that arrogant to me as the way they are. The way they talk to me, the way they behave towards me, I just can't understand how can they be like that. It can be anyway, anywhere, anytime. Especially women. I was amazed. I went to Belgium and I found that Belgium housewives are even worse than British housewives. Oh, terrific women. Oh, just horrible. Absolutely, you just don't know how to deal with them. It's terrific. They control the whole household into their hands. I don't know how. Only I don't know how they do it. There's no. So ego-oriented, I am amazed. But if you go to America, American women are, they are Amazonic. Horrible. You just can't understand. There's no love, no affection, nothing. Showing off, all the time talking about their material things. Absolutely dry sticks, I tell you. And they want realization and they want to be great and this and that. I don't know. What are they? Today, especially the day of Virginity, I have really great hopes from the women of this country. Especially. Here the men don't talk at all. You see, the pattern was worst in Belgium. No man would talk a word. They cannot talk. Just poor things are just shut. They don't talk, strangled. Completely strangled by women. Believe me. Horrible. What is going to happen to that country? You see, where men can't talk and women talk. It's horrifying. Let us face it up. What have they achieved, the women there? At least in India, our Prime Minister is a woman. What are they? Good for nothing, useless, just washing utensils in the house and showing off. I just don't understand. What sacrifices they can go up to. The woman is known by the amount of sacrifices she makes. It's a challenge, I tell you, for all of you women who are realized souls to see to it that you humble down yourself. Your quality cannot improve unless and until you humble down. On everything you assert. For what? It's impossible to worship Virgin when we are so arrogant and so strangling type. The Virgin is a simple woman. She is extremely simple. She doesn't understand what are your plans and what is so important, everything. Her importance is her virginity. That she knows, and she will not allow anybody to touch you. That's her property, that's her wealth, that's her greatness. And she is humble because she is not afraid of anyone. She is not aggressive. But she doesn't allow anybody to aggress. Nobody dare aggress a real virgin. A new page has been turned now in Sahaja Yoga. I must warn you all about it. Don't take liberties too much with Sahaja Yoga. You are not obliging anyone else but yourself. Be careful. Take up my warnings always seriously. You all have to come up very well now. It's not only doing my puja is going to help you, I can tell you this much. Now you better worship yourself. You have to worship all your gods within you. Cleanse them. First is the God and the goddess of humility, of innocence, of simplicity. Worship that. Unless and until you can worship that, you cannot go further. You will not be protected. Again I say that new page has been turned. Don't take liberties with Sahaja. It has bestowed all the blessings upon you. You have seen the light of the day. But be prepared for the night. Nobody should try to take liberties. Try to improve yourself. No more complaints. If you can't live in an ashram like that, you better get out of it. It's not for your convenience. Nobody is in need of you. Take it from me. Nobody is in need of you. You have to be in need of yourself. If you are seekers, if you want to find your roots, everything is available for you. But you have to be humble to go down to the roots. Not with arrogance. We must understand why we are not progressing. Actually, arrogance comes to people who lack self-confidence. Self-confidence is shattered to people whose self is not manifesting. Let yourself manifest. When the self is not manifesting, you get all kinds of problems and then you complain. Actually, the problem resides within you. It is God who has to complain. Think of it. The one who has created this universe. The one who has created you all with such love and affection. The one who has given you everything under the sun. Also the one who has given you realization. Given you light. Everything that is possible. And you are complaining against him? You should not. Complain about yourself that I am not all right. I should be all right. Complain about it. Face yourself. Like children, when they face the mirror, they say, this is somebody else, but we believe. They never identify themselves with their own images that they see. They are identified with the image that they are. They don't create artificial images or don't dwell with images which are making them feel ego-oriented. They live with reality as it is. We are made like that. You see a camera. If it takes some photograph under a light which is not maybe some other color, the photograph could be different. Supposing I am wearing a red thing and supposing you put a light that is blue, this might start looking green. But human eyes will see always the same thing. It won't see something unreal. Camera can do all that. Camera can remove somebody's head and put somebody's head there. All these tricks are possible with camera, but not with human eyes. Whatever you see is the thing that, of course, you are drunk, then different. I'm saying of normal conditions, you see. In normal condition, you see what exactly exists. But if you are ego-oriented, you will never see yourself what exists. You will see some sort of a bloated, you see, you think yourself to be the king of God's heavens, you see. Can see, if we want to. It's imagination. If you put your imagination like that, you can see yourself as anything, which is false, is absolute false. You are yourself. And you must see yourself, as your spirit. And spirit is the universal being, is the innocence, is the virgin within. Respect it. Respect that part of yours which is the virgin, still exists, because if it was not there, I could never have given you realization. Despite every attack, it existed there. Be sure on that point. If it had not existed, you could not have got your realization. So many of them, they are very proud. Oh, I don't feel anything, mother, it's nothing. There is to be more to be ashamed. Or at least to feel that you are missing something, isn't it? At least you should feel that you are missing if something is not all right. You should be all right. At least think like that. I should be all right, I am not all right. On the contrary, no, I didn't feel. Oh, what I didn't feel, I should feel. So the wisdom is the part. That is innocence. Complete wisdom. You find this among the villagers. Oh, very simple. They are not cunning in any way. You try to befool them and you will be amazed. At the end of it, you will find I am such a big fat fool myself. Try that with some rustic people who are very simple, matter of fact, who live with the mother soil. You will find that all those so-called intellectuals, if they try to befool a simple man like that, after half an hour, this educated and very MAD, PhD style will find that he is the biggest fool ever born. There's a saying in Sanskrit which is very common, Vidya vinayena shobhate. That is Vidya, even the knowledge. is decorated. Shobhate means gets its decorations, or what is Shobha? Beautified.
Beauty, yes.
Is beautified only through humility. If there is an educated man, he has to be a humble person. If he is not a humble person, then he is not educated at all in any way. I don't know if I have told you a story about one saint was meditating and was blind. And a king came there and asked him, "Did you see some people around?" He said, "Yes." "Yes, king, my king. Sit down. I saw your servant coming, and then your minister came in, and then the prime minister came in, and then now you have come." He said, "You are blind. How did you know?" "Through your meditation." He said, "No, common sense." He said, "What is the common sense?" He said, the servant came in. He said, "What, you are bogus fellow, sitting down here wasting your time." He gave me 2-3 abuses, used bad language, and said, "Have you seen any person here?" So I said, "No." Then the minister came in. He didn't abuse me, but he just asked me. Then the prime minister came. He said, "Sir," to me. Must have been from England. And might have said also "thank you," perhaps. And then came the king. And he said that you are extremely humble. You first touched my feet. You sat down on the Mother Earth, waited for me to ask you, "What do you want?" And in a very humble way, you said, "If you have heard of people around you, because I'm blind, so you didn't say something that would hurt me in such a humble way, if I could tell you, but at least 108 names of the Guru you took before you asked me this. So I knew you are the learned, you are the humblest, and so you must be the king. Otherwise, in those days, at least we never had kings or prime ministers who were box office actors." Even the public was so innocent that they would not accept such a nonsense. You see? So this was the difference. From this story we have to derive that the more we are learned into Vidya, into the technique of Sahaja Yoga, we have to be humble. That is our decoration. That is our certificate. That is the pass into the entrance of every human being. That is the way we are going to be very close to the other seekers. To be humble, to find out ways and methods of being humble. This is the key of Nirmala Vidya. How to be humble. By humility, you will not ever say, this is my bathroom, or this is my fruit, or this is my food, or this is my table, and this is my glass. Innocence gives you the strength to enjoy everything that is there. I mean, for me, sometimes I have to eat with boots, and sometimes I have to eat boots. Not only eat with them, but also eat them is the worst part. So, you also should not mind if there are people with boots. If they are arrogant, try to give them bandhans, try to control them through all these methods. But if you think by arguing with them, you will be able to manage them, it's an impossibility. So try Nirmala Vidya, and that is humility, which is the myelin sheath of vibrations. Like every nerve has a myelin sheath covering it, in the same way is the humility is the myelin sheath. If you are humble, you will win the battle. If you are not, you will be lost. Then the whole thing will become a joke for you. Absolute joke. If you are humble, you can see the stupid, the brutes, and all the arrogant as clowns of this drama. Try to be humble with yourself and with me. With me is very important. You must understand that it is one of the conditions that Christ has put on you. So be careful. Dealing with me, I don't want you to be in any way rude to me, because I can't help it then. Till you are humble with me, everything is in my charge. But as soon as you are rude to me, somebody else, and so many of them, thousands of them, take charge. And then don't blame me for that, because you are my proteges. You are under my protection. Supposing you try to make holes in your roof and then say that the rain is coming in, what can you do about it? I mean, you have already made holes in your roof. The roof that was to protect you have made holes, now the rain has to come in. Then if you want that the roof still should protect you from the rain, then I must say you lack intelligence. That's what it is. So this is another warning. It's very embarrassing, but again, today is the day of embarrassment as it is. Because the Virgin is in embarrassed condition always. She is a bashful personality. She has to be bashful. She is embarrassed to say things which she does not want to say. Of course, that's a very sweet thing. Even there she is bashful. To say harsh things is a horrible stuff. So, let us worship our virginity within ourselves. Let us rise up to that. To mount that diamond of brilliance of our virginity in the setting of our humility. You can be angry with others, not with Sajogis, not with me. Even with others when it is absolutely required. But if you fight among yourselves and tell people about Sahaja, nobody is going to believe. And that is why today is the day when the Virgin Gauri sat down to worship Shiva. She made a Shivalinga and was sitting and putting her sindoor on that. That you look after this, which is the mark of my union with you. I leave it to you to look after to Shiva. You look after this. I surrender to you. For this, that's how the Gauri, your Kundalini, surrenders to the Spirit. Now you look after this connection. I forget everything else. I leave it into your hands. Lift me up. You raise me up. I forget all that was me before. Everything I have dropped out. No other desire. But just lift me higher and higher. Make me yourself. The rest of it is not important. All other manifestations of these desires are over. Now I am absolutely surrendered to you, my Spirit. Lift me higher and higher. Higher and higher. Away from all the things that were not the Spirit. Make me complete Spirit, full Spirit. Forget all that was there. That elevation, that ascent becomes a fast, quick trip. A very fast ascent. Just you can do it if you try at this moment and every moment to give up all that was not the Spirit. Anything that goes against the Spirit must be given up, and that is what is the pure desire. That's what it is, the Kundalini, is the Virgin. Is to be absolutely one with the Spirit. All the rest has no meaning, has no value. This ascent, whatever may be your position, to whomsoever you may be married, wherever you are working, whatever is your situation, whatever may be your country, you are the Spirit. And if you are raised aloft, you dwell in the beautiful kingdom of God, where all ugliness drops out. Like when the lotus opens out, all the mud drops out completely. In the same way, let my children become the fragrant, beautiful offerings of Sadashiva. May God bless you.